Yo, hey friends, it's Joe Idone here on behalf of Team RotoBaller to load up the bazooka, launching Longshots, CJ CUP Byron Nelson. What are we doing with this name? Do the PGA Tour people not understand how four words like that go together? It makes no sense. CJ CUP Byron Nelson is what it is. Rant over. Let's do launching long shots presented by the team over at RotoBaller. The promo code to get full access to the Discord where all the matchup plays are listed each and every week. Myself and the Model Maniac are highly alert in the betting side of the Discord. Spencer Aggie, our takes on the DFS stuff, has his own channel with sort of all of his VIP plays for the week. He's got 4 winners on the season. LINES get you full, unadulterated access to every single bit of it. Okay, let's do some launching long shots. This is, if you're into long shots, the CJ Cup TPC Craig Ranch is kind of your vibe. A little bit of a longer par 71 golf course, but lends itself to the ability for players to consistently hole 15-foot putts for birdie. That's the difference maker. That's your classic putting contest. That's where you get long shots. I'm going to start with a guy, though, that is extremely proficient with his long irons lately and is a little bit of a sneaky skill set for this player, given that he's not like someone that you would think of as prodigiously long off the tee, but is extremely proficient in that range from 175 to 250 yard. That's where you're going to get 50% of the approach shots this week. It's going to give you ample birdie opportunities. The pin locations are not hard. The greens are not difficult in and of themselves. So find yourself in that 10 to 20 foot range and hope to roll in some putts. I've got a 55 to 1 on Mr. Mark Hubbard this week. So Mark Hubbard was essentially a flubbed Ryan Brem chip and a short-sighted sprinkler head away from being in that playoff last week after carrying Brem. He had a big drive on a drivable par 4, but Mark Hubbard did the majority of the heavy lifting there, and he's been playing fantastic golf. If you take into account the third place last week, that is 5 consecutive top 40 finishes for Mark Hubbard. You can see there 2 of those starts at least 7 strokes gained tee to green. He's been fantastic there. I have him second in the field total in birdie or better rates, which is one of the primary stats that I'm looking at this week. Top 10 in approach, top 10 in that distance from 175 to 250 yards. He rates out really well all across the board for me. Like I mentioned, was a shot out of that playoff. Some decent run of form coming in. He's got some history here to rely on. Just a player sort of circling the waters in the 50 to 1 range that I've absolutely have my eye on. 55 to 1 on Mark Hubbard is your long shot number 1. 2 other sort of correlated bets I like with Hubbard. The top 20 piece is plus 260, and that top 40 price is still plus money on Mark Hubbard. You can get plus 115 over at FanDuel Sportsbook. As you can see, 5 consecutive starts when you factor in the team event in which he has done so. He's been on an extremely consistent run. Look at the amount of starts there that are within the top 40, much of which he's doing so without a hot putter. If he can get that going to this week, I think he can actually contend at an event like this. Long shot number 1, Homeless Hubs, put him on your card. Okay. Number 2, I'm going to lean a little bit heavily into what I saw from frankly, the hottest handicapper on the RotoBaller PGA team right now. And I'm talking about Spencer. And he sort of tipped me into taking a further look at one Peter Kest. Peter Kest. I'm not quite sure exactly how it's pronounced, but I will tell you that I'm sure that he's got back-to-back top 10s, one at the Valero Texas Open, one at Corrales Punta Cana. What I love that Peter Kest does is he absolutely nukes it off the tee. Larger than average fairways here. He can take a lot of those for some players, which may be 200 to 225 yard approach shots, aka a 4-iron, and turn them into 175 yard shots for someone like Peter Kest, which is like a 7-iron for Peter. So if he can give himself 7-iron when other players are hitting 5 and 4, even a 1 club advantage on a lot of these longer par 4s come into play, it's just going to continue to give him birdie opportunities. And the big thing that tipped me off when looking at Spencer's model, and I hope I'm not letting you too far behind the curtain here, number 8 overall, number 2 in upside. And we're talking about a guy who's 100 to 1 this week to win. Peter Kess is on the card. Like I mentioned, the back-to-back top 10 finishes, T14 at this event last year, and he did so with a closing round 63, which was only matched by the winner, Jason Day. Hot on the weekend, Peter Kess. Let's get started out of the gates, maybe a little bit better this year. Make your way through the cut line, and maybe we have a sweat on Sunday. He is plus 160 in the top 40 market, which is a correlated bet there I like as well. Okay, so here's the thing. I leaned on some stats and some data for the first 2 players. The third one is just a pure gut play for me. And I don't know why I like this guy, but I have a feeling, and I have some intel on the player from some people who are close to him. Very familiar with golf in his Dallas-Fort Worth area. Has some familiarity with TPC Craig Ranch as well. Apparently, the conditions suck this week. Several players have commented about how they're terrible. I think it kind of lends itself to a guy who's potentially struggling, who has upside. And I actually like these guys that are, 2 years or less removed from the Corn Ferry Tour, because they're going to understand the assignment. And it's different games. Playing a tournament like the Heritage or playing someplace like Augusta National requires patience, requires precision, requires thoughtful decision making on nearly every shot from tee to green. This place is just gas pedal to the floor, balls to the wall. Let's go and make as many birdies as humanly possible. And in that instance, I want a guy who's a really great putter. And while he's been struggling, still maybe the best putter on the PGA Tour is this guy, Taylor Montgomery. You can see when it spikes, he has the ability to play a course like TPC Sawgrass and finish 11th, right? The American Express is 61st there. Waste Management Phoenix Open, he was okay. He putted really well. But you look down the list there at a lot of the TPC courses, and you'll see a little bit of a spike for old Monty. Just kind of a gut feel flyer play for me this week. He's 125 to 1. You can get him plus 190 in a top 40 market on Taylor Montgomery. Those are my 3 guys. Before I get out of here, bonus Live Singapore pick. Peter Uihlein, 65 to 1. That's your added sort of money ball bonus pick there for the week. Thank you again. This has been Joe Idone on behalf of the entire RotoBaller PGA team. This has been Launching Longshots. Good luck at the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, whatever they're calling this thing. Best of luck. Hope that you hit a long shot winner. I'll catch you guys next week for the Wells Fargo Championship. Peace.